Hey everybody, I'm Hamsack, and today I've got another game for you guys to try out. It's called Death from a Jet. It's a little indie game by, I assume, it's developed by the same guys that produce it because it doesn't specify, but it's called Summer Experiments. And it is quite the game. And this game is only available on Xbox for some reason. I've looked other places, can't find it, so you just kind of got to play it on Xbox, I guess. In this game, you play as an assassin. Your job is to take out whatever target is popped up on your screen. So, to get to your target, you must fly a super fighter jet through a city. And there's a bunch of buildings everywhere with billboards all over the place, so you're trying to avoid all of that so you don't crash, and then get to the center of the city where a party's happening, because that's where your target is. Your target's happening. Once you make it to the middle of the city to kill your target, you'll land your jet and you'll pull out what looks to be a Tommy gun, but turns out is a grenade launcher. So if I stop completely, can I press X? Oh, okay, cool. I did it. I figured it out. Okay. And now I have this Tommy gun, 50 bullets. That's a grenade. Okay? Because, duh, all of the finest assassins use grenade launchers and fly fighter jets through a city instead of just driving around and then being stealthy or whatever. You just crash land your plane into the city and then blow everything up with a grenade launcher. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I can see a vision here. To figure out where your target is, you must just kind of pay attention to the little picture that's popped up when you're flying around, and you'll see that there'll be balloons or whatever. You just gotta figure out who it is and where they're at, because a lot of the AIs, the little targets, look exactly the same. So you have to just it's a lot easier to figure out where they're at right off the bat, because if you miss your first shot and don't kill them right away, everybody just scatters, spins around, and runs around and whatever, and you end up with a mess, and you have to figure out where your target is just based on shooting them. If it's not this group. Oh, it was. Oh, thank goodness. I was gonna have to go. I thought I was gonna have to go through and start killing everybody one by one. And that's pretty much it. That's how the game goes. And then there's only three or four missions. One is a little party with a bus flying around for some reason. And then a Halloween party at a graveyard with pumpkins on everybody's head for some reason. And then just some other basic party. It's very short. It's a very short game. There's not a lot of missions, and you would imagine it'd be a much longer game for something that's 5 gigabytes. So not only are there only a few levels, but they're kind of small. It's only a short obstacle course, which is actually fairly difficult, but then it's just kill a guy. The game is only $1, so it's fine, but I wish there was a little more to it for 5 gigabytes. Now, clearly the graphics in the game aren't top notch, but I mean, I don't blame them. This might be just kind of a school project type thing. That's kind of what I imagine. If it's called Summer Experiments is their producer and probably the developer, so I imagine this is just some sort of school summer project thing that somebody made. So there's just a lot of goofy stuff going on. I'm not sure if these were just all random assets that they had that they just stuck into their game because they were there and they were available. So that's probably what it was, because it definitely seems like that's probably what it was. But for what it was, I found enjoyment out of it for the very short period of time that it took me to beat it. I mean, it was fun and goofy and challenging, so you can kind of test yourself. Something that I think is hilarious about this game, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like this, but the way the AI is programmed is when they're scared, when the grenade goes off, everybody just runs straight out and then spins around in a circle. So I don't know if that was completely intended, but it's hilarious, and I love it. So I'm glad that it's in the game. It just kind of makes it more entertaining, I feel like. And then the other thing that I find hilarious is that it's a Tommy gun shooting grenades. Don't know where that came from, but that's pretty awesome. Something I do want to commend the developer on is the physics. They're actually pretty good, it feels like. Like, the way the jet moves feels really good, and the way the jet moves was clearly the main focus, because they didn't really you can tell there wasn't a lot put into the other stuff. Like, the buildings are all the same, the billboards, I just assume they're billboards. The billboards are all the same. It takes a little bit of practice to dodge through everything, but the thing is, you don't even have to worry about any of that. You can just, right off the bat, you can just land your jet, just hold A down, you press X to get out of your jet, and then you just walk over to the side, right behind all the buildings that are lining on the left side, or the right side, doesn't really matter, but then you just follow the buildings all the way down until you get to the party. You don't even, it takes longer, for sure, but it's a little bit easier than just crashing over and over again into a bunch of billboards and buildings. Something that could be improved on would be maybe a screen that, like a title screen that's a little less loud. Maybe it'd be better if there was some music or something, I don't know. Another thing would be a screen that kind of lets you know that the game is over. Because you finish it, you press Y to either restart, or if you've killed your target, you press Y to escape the game. What happened? Did I beat it? I hit continue. Is that it? Is that it? That's it. You're just done. It's kind of weird. I don't know why there's no like end screen, like credit screen that says you win, victory, something like that. It, like to say you beat the game. It's just over. It's a little weird. And also, another thing was the tutorial was a little goofy. It's not like a tutorial I've seen really before. It's more like a infographic. Like you just zoom in on some words, and then you zoom in on some more words, and you keep zooming in on words. It looks cool. It just is not a tutorial, because you're not really given the opportunity to learn from, messing with these mechanics it's teaching you. And I do like how simple the UI is. It's very to the point, but I wish it was a little bit more clear. It's simple, but it's not very clear, Maybe it would be better if there were some boxes, so that way the words stand out better. Stuff like that might improve the UI a little bit more. But really, it's just a really small game. There's not a whole lot I can say about this. It's just not a lot. It's pretty simple. It's kind of a goofy little $1 game. You just jump in, you fly around an obstacle course, and you kill a guy. I just like how simple it is and how goofy it is, because of how the NPCs move around, and the jet just seems to be put together really well. But for the things I feel like could be improved on would be make it a little bit bigger, both in the amount of levels there are and in the scale of the city and obstacle course part, just so it makes it a little bit easier to actually move around in, and I feel like that would make it more enjoyable to be able to move faster through the obstacle course without having to brake all the time. And then finally, just the UI could be improved on a little bit, because obviously it would help to have like a end screen, like to have some sort of way to know that you've completed the game. So that's pretty much it. If you guys like this game, I can't really link you to anything, but if you look up Death from a Jet on Xbox, it'll pop up. And it's only $1, so try it out if this appeals to you. Otherwise, I will have other videos coming out on more indie games that you can try. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Hit that little subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, other reviews, tips and tricks videos, stuff like that. I'm coming out with some tips and tricks videos and a review on Resident Evil 4, the remake, pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much it. Peace. Happening. Something I do have to commend the developer on is the